Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking the code on something every single one of us has dealt with. That mysterious chemistry that makes some teams just soar, while others completely sink. We are talking about group dynamics.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You remember that one amazing project team where everything just flowed perfectly? And then, there was that other one. The one that felt like pulling teeth just to get anything done. Well, the difference between success and failure often comes down to these invisible forces at play within the group. So what's the secret?
Well, the good news is, it's not just random luck. There's actually a science to all of this. And by understanding the hidden patterns and properties of groups, we can learn exactly what makes them tick. So think of this as our mission today, to decode what separates a good team from a truly great one.
Okay, so first things first, let's get on the same page. What even is a group? It's not just a random bunch of people standing at a bus stop. The two key words here are interacting and interdependent. That means they're connected, they rely on each other, and they've come together for a specific reason.
You know, our drive to join groups runs deep. It's not random at all. It's about fulfilling these really fundamental psychological needs for similarity, for status, for our own identity. But one of the biggest drivers is just reducing uncertainty. Think about it. You're a new employee on your very first day. Joining the team is all about finding your footing and feeling secure in a totally unfamiliar place.
Now, what's really fascinating is that groups aren't static, not at all. They're kind of like living things that grow and change over time. They have a life cycle, and understanding that cycle is absolutely key.
Okay, so the most famous way to think about this is the 5-stage model. Just picture a student project, okay? First, you have forming. Everyone's being super polite, but they're also a little unsure. Then comes storming. Yep, this is when disagreements pop up about who's in charge or how to do the work. If you can get through that, you hit norming, where you start setting rules and actually cooperating. That leads to performing, where the team is finally a well-oiled machine. And last, adjourning, when the project is handed in and everyone goes their separate ways.
But let's be real for a second. Reality is usually way messier than that, right? Teams can get stuck, they can even go backward. And get this, that storming phase, that conflict, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes that's the exact thing that forces a major breakthrough. Plus, this neat little model misses probably the most powerful motivator on planet Earth, a looming deadline.
And that brings us to a more dynamic and, frankly, a more realistic model, especially for temporary teams. It's called the Punctuated-Equilibrium Model, and it basically says that for the first half of a project, not a whole lot happens. The team just kind of coasts along. Then, bam, you hit the halfway point. Panic mode is activated. There's this huge burst of energy, a frantic transition, and the team finally kicks into high gear for a final, super-focused push to the finish line. Sound familiar?
So whether a team follows that straight line or it's more like a series of panicked bursts, its ultimate success really hinges on 5 fundamental properties. You can think of this as the group's core DNA, the essential elements that determine if it's going to thrive or totally fail. Let's break them down.
First up, roles. This is the basic blueprint of who does what. It's so important. When everyone understands their job, you're the leader, I'm the researcher, she's the presenter, the whole machine just runs smoothly. But when roles get fuzzy, oh, that is a recipe for disaster. People step on each other's toes, important tasks get dropped, and you end up with chaos instead of collaboration.
Next, we have norms. And honestly, these might be the most powerful force on this entire list. Norms are the unwritten rules, the team's invisible culture. It's not about what's in the official handbook, it's about what really happens. How fast do we reply to emails? Is it okay to challenge an idea, or is it better to just keep your mouth shut? These shared expectations dictate behavior more than any mission statement ever will.
Then, of course, there's status. In every single group, a pecking order starts to emerge. It might be based on a formal job title, sure, but just as often it's based on expertise, charisma, or maybe just being the most confident person in the room. And this is critical, because status determines who gets to talk, whose ideas get taken seriously, and who ultimately has the most influence.
And of course, size matters. There's a reason people talk about the 2-pizza team rule. A small team of, say, 3 people is super nimble, but a team of 12 has way more brainpower, even though getting everyone coordinated can be a total nightmare. This is also where social loafing sneaks in, that totally real thing where people put in less effort because they feel like their contribution is just lost in the crowd. They figure someone else will pick up the slack.
And finally, we have cohesiveness. This is the glue. It's the secret sauce that holds the whole thing together. It's that feeling of we-ness. It's how much the members are genuinely drawn to the group and actually want to be part of its success. A cohesive team isn't just working together, they are motivated to support each other and win as a unit.
Now, of all those 5 keys, I want to zero in on one that often operates completely under the radar, but it has this incredible, almost magnetic pull on how we act, and that's norms.
So norms basically come in 2 flavors. You've got descriptive norms, which is what we see people actually doing, like does everyone actually show up to the meeting on time? Then you have injunctive norms, which is what people think they should be doing, the belief that you should be on time. When those 2 are out of sync, that's when you get serious tension and confusion in a group.
To really see just how ridiculously powerful norms can be, we're going to go back in time. The famous Hawthorne Studies started out as a simple experiment on workplace lighting, but they ended up stumbling onto something, well, absolutely mind-blowing about how people work together.
So here's what they found. The workers are creating their own rules about how much to produce. Now, even though they could have worked faster and earned more money, they intentionally held back. So why would they do that? Simple. The unwritten rule, the group norm, was basically, don't work too fast and make the rest of us look bad. The need to belong was way stronger than any financial incentive.
So the huge takeaway from the Hawthorne studies is this. Social factors like your relationships and these group norms can be way more powerful than anything else. If you really want to know why a team is winning or losing, you can't just look at the individual players. You have to look at the group's culture.
Okay, so we've cracked the code, we've decoded the science. Now let's get practical. Let's turn all these insights into a playbook you can actually use to figure out what's going on and improve any group you're a part of.
So here is the formula, pretty much in a nutshell. Great teams are built on clear roles where everybody knows their job. They're built on norms that actually push for high output. They have low status differences, so everyone feels safe enough to speak up. They keep the group as lean as possible. And they foster that essential glue, that cohesiveness, that makes people genuinely want to be there.
And that is the whole point of all this. This isn't just some abstract theory. By looking at a group through this lens, through roles, norms, status, size, and cohesiveness, you basically gain a superpower. You can see what's working, what's broken, and more importantly, how you might be able to start fixing it. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Every single team you're on, whether it's at work or in your personal life, is governed by these unspoken rules. So take a second and think, what are the most powerful norms that are shaping the behavior in your group right now?